Howdy, and welcome to the Sagebrush Happy Hour Journal entry for January 8th, 2025. So there's a saying in the engineering community is that we love standards. That's why we have so many of them. And so I was working today on my solar power energy system. And so my solar power has been kind of built up over time. When we bought the place, it had a certain amount of and brand of panels and had different, and so there's different components in for our solar energy. There's the solar panels, which go into charge controllers that go into the batteries, and then the batteries output to what's called an inverter, which converts it into the electricity that your house can use. And so unfortunately, each of those devices have seem to be from different manufacturers and have different standards or communication standards. For example, is my charge controllers are from a company called Outback Solar, and they have a proprietary communication language called MATE. And then my batteries are from another company called EG4, and they're lithium batteries. And monitoring lithium batteries is pretty critical. And even within the same manufacturer, I have two different types of batteries, or two different levels of batteries, I guess you would say, or models is the best word. Two different models of batteries from the same manufacturer, and they have different communication standards. And then we go to my inverter, which has yet another communication standard. And it's a Schneider proprietary thing. And so each one of these manufacturers of solar equipment seem to have a different communication standard. And the reason they want to do that is that they want to sell you a device to read the communications. So in the case of the charge controllers, it's a $400 device to read the data out and get it to, where you can read it through an app or through the internet, or create usable data for home automation. And the same thing with the Schneider is they want to sell you a device that's basically $400 to read from their inverter. And so there are some hacks out there, and so I was kind of looking into this. Well, and so for example, on my batteries, there's a kind of a hack out there, or a thing that you can buy, which is called Solar Assistant. And Solar Assistant is based on a Raspberry Pi computer, and it can read the data off the batteries, and then it can transmit that to my home automation system, which is usually Home Assistant. And so that works pretty well, except that it can only read one of the two different models of batteries. It can only read, this model's batteries with its communication protocol, or it can read the other model of batteries with their communication protocol. And so this is a less than ideal situation. And so I was looking into today at some kind of the hacks or ways to get around spending, $400 on a monitor for my charge controllers. And so I finally found a solution, and it would have been about $110, and of course I would have had to done some programming and stuff like that, and soldering and that sort of thing. And then I was like, I'm not sure that's worth it just to be able to monitor the charge controllers. And so my solution right now is that I'm doing a bunch of interpolation. So I can read the battery voltages, and I can tell how much power is going in and out of the batteries. And I can also tell how much energy we're using within the household with the different monitoring equipment that I have for our AC power. And so then I'm able to kind of write some scripts that do some math and basically figure out how much electricity I'm getting off my solar panels, and how much electricity I'm using in the house, and how much electricity the batteries are getting. So all this is just, one of these things that's it's kind of like, it's irritating is what it is. And, but eventually we've kind of solved that. And, and my end goal is to, how much can I upgrade my solar and be able to add, more to things like possibly a hot tub, or maybe even an EV down the line. So, and then so the saga continues. And so there's never a dull moment when you live off grid. And that's my journal entry for today. Cheers.